How about the idea of figuring out in one video how to correctly, safely, and profitably open a company in Poland? My name is Stanislav. I have been living in Poland for 9 years and I am engaged in business. We help companies enter the Polish market. We have conducted over 500 paid consultations. We have launched 250 businesses into the Polish market. We open companies, sole proprietorships, and handle servicing and accounting. During this time, I have given more than 50 open and closed presentations. I have spoken at DIA Business PL, and I have spoken in the Magic of Morning community. And if you are just planning to open a company in Poland, this video is concise and not comprehensive. And practically, you will get everything you need to know about opening your first company in Poland. Let's go. It's worth starting with the goal. Why do you want to open a company in Poland? First, I want to open a company and obtain a residence permit based on this company. Second, I want to enter the Polish, European, or global market. Next, I want to move my company from Ukraine to Europe and conduct business more comfortably and peacefully in Poland. I want to have a company in Poland and, for example, engage in construction or transportation services throughout Europe. Work in Germany, in the Benelux countries. I want to open an e-commerce business. I want to open a family business. These are all different goals. And there are other ways to achieve these goals. For example, Zui, the reality of Neria Stravana, a business incubator, opening a sole proprietorship, not a company, but a sole proprietorship in Poland. Therefore, up here will be a video where we will discuss other ways to achieve your goal. But if you have definitely decided that a company suits you, let's figure out how to do it correctly. In Poland, there are several ways to open a company. The first is notarial registration, the so-called old-fashioned way. The second method is online registration through a system called S24. But there is also a third method that no one talks about. This is remote online registration while being in your own country, for example, in Ukraine. And there are such methods and tools available. We, for example, know how to do this. What are the pros and cons? If it's notarial registration, then this method is suitable if you have many partners, if you need to personally outline the company's charter and pre-assess the risks that may arise between partners. Overall, this is a method for more serious entrepreneurs. It doesn't suit 95% of you, so in this video, we will talk about online company registration in Poland as the simplest, most effective, and beneficial method of registration. And why is that? Watch this video. What documents are needed to open a company in Poland? And here, there are many myths. You need to have a residence card, you need to have citizenship, you need to have a Polish spouse, you need to hire 2 Polish employees. Friends, it's all very simple here. Any foreigner can open a company in Poland just by having a passport. But if you are watching this video, then congratulations. I will tell you how to do it more comfortably. What other documents? It's better to do this, to open a company in Poland faster, and to ensure you have no problems opening a bank account. So let me remind you, we are opening a company online, and for this, you need to have 2 things. So first, you need to obtain a PESEL number. This is analogous to our identification number. And this PESEL number can be obtained both within Poland and outside its borders. We have the tools to do this remotely. Based on the PESEL, you need to create a profile for a trusted EPOB, which is an electronic signature. I will immediately say that in Poland there are 2 ways to have an electronic signature. The first way is a signature on a flash drive. You are used to it, and I know that in your country there is such a type of signature. And the second signature is this EPOB profile. We focus on EPUB because it is cheaper. Better because this signature does not lag or slow down, and simply more efficient. To obtain EPUB and confirm this signature, you need to either be on the territory of Poland and do it at the nearest government office, or there are also tools available to confirm such a signature remotely while being in your own country. If you are interested, below the video you will find all the necessary information. What is rarely mentioned on the internet, it would be good to have an address. Of an individual, you as an individual in Poland, this can be a real address. Sometimes it's an agreement where you don't really live there. Yes, but nevertheless it's better to have it. This will be useful for a more comfortable company registration in Poland, for obtaining a VAT number, and for opening a bank account. Now let's talk about how the registration process technically takes place. Well, if you are planning to do it yourself, you need to look for instructions, some step-by-step guides that will meticulously explain what documents need to be attached and where to sign them correctly. And yes, by the way, we have such a guide. Please, if you want to open it yourself, go ahead. But for most people, registration with a partner is suitable because firstly, you don't know the language, and secondly, most likely, your time is more valuable. To figure all this out, well guys, you really need to spend at least 2 weeks on it, and in the end, there's still a chance you'll make a mistake. So let's say your time is more valuable and you don't know Polish. And you don't want to make a mistake during registration that could cost you up to 1 million zlotys. And if that's the case, you still need to, as a manager, as a business owner, understand the important details during registration. And that's why you entrust this work to a professional, that is, a contractor. And here's the algorithm that awaits you. With a competent contractor, you first need to fill out a brief, which is a kind of technical assignment for registration. It will specify your future, company name, types of activities, share capital, information about all owners, partners, board members, shares, roles, who has signing authority, and much more interesting information. I won't go into the details, but because each of these points can be discussed separately and how they influence each other. Should the share capital be 5,000 zlotys, or is it better to make it, say, 20,000 zlotys? Does it need to be deposited into an account, or can it remain in the cash register? So there are many nuances, and that's probably why you will be doing this with a contractor, either with us or someone else. An expert provides feedback, reviews your application, checks the company name in the region where you will operate to avoid conflicts of interest, and gives recommendations on the share capital, ownership, legal address, and many other details from the kit. The application is accepted and the statutory documents are created. The company's charter itself. There are a number of documents that everyone will need to physically sign and then sign over them. This is still done with electronic signatures, the ones we talked about with you. Then the documents are uploaded into the S24 system. An account is ideally registered in the name of one of you, yes, one of the partners, so that it then belongs to you and you can comfortably make changes to the company yourself or with a partner. And all this is signed, the state fee is paid, which by the way is 350 zlotys, and the documents are sent to the court, to the National Court Register. Here in Poland, company registration is handled by the court. Then the court reviews these documents. If everything is in order, it issues you tax numbers, which confirm that your company is successfully registered. The question arises, how long does all this take? How much time is needed to obtain a PESEL, ePUAP, and to register a company? Here's how it is. If you are in Poland, then most likely you already have a PESEL. And ePUAP, if not, it usually takes literally 1-2 days. Next is the company registration. On average, it takes 3-7 days. It depends on the voivodeship where you will be applying. If you are not in Poland and want essentially to open a company remotely, obtain a PESEL or a PUAP remotely, open a company remotely, if the owners are also in different places, someone in Ukraine, someone in America, someone in Cyprus, then usually in our experience it takes 2, 3, sometimes 4 weeks. This is how long the entire process takes. Create electronic signatures for everyone and then eventually send the documents to the court and register the company. So you have registered the company, you should have 3 numbers, NIP, REGON, and KARES. These are 3 different numbers responsible for different things. In any case, the most important thing is that with any of these numbers, you should be able to see information about your company in the regional court register and have an extract, a PDF with information about your company. And with that, the process of registering a legal entity is completed. But the process of starting a business does not end there, because there are a number of desirable, mandatory, and recommended things that need to be done. For example, you need to open a bank account. Most of you need to obtain a VAT number and sometimes even a VAT-EU number. Some need to get an ERI number because you will be engaged in import-export tax operations. Some need to obtain a certain license, a license for a labor agency, for construction, for transportation services. The answer to the question of what to do after registration can be found in this video. It's the right time to understand what taxes exist. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that people make. People initially think and are so motivated, wanting to start something, and then it turns out that taxes need to be paid here, and it turns out it's not like in my country. From turnover, it turns out there is double taxation here and so on. In other words, there are many nuances. That's why, especially for you, below, under the video in the first pinned comment, I have prepared instructions on how you can access my exclusive masterclass where I thoroughly and step-by-step explain the taxation system in Poland. We talk about taxes in Spook.io, and it's very cool and important. I talk about taxes for individual entrepreneurs. That is the complete package, including VAT. By watching this one masterclass, you will know everything you need to understand about taxes in Poland. So act right now, use WOMP, the instructions in the first comment, and get this lesson completely free. In this and the previous 300 Urstorm videos on the channel, we have provided you with enough information to start and run a business in Poland independently. At least that's what our subscribers say. But if your time and nerves are more valuable and you want to open a company in Poland correctly, safely and profitably, then I suggest entrusting this work to us. And here are 3 reasons why it's important to do so. First, experience. We have worked in all verticals. We have opened transportation and construction companies. We have worked with e-commerce. Essentially, any business you come with, we have most likely worked with it. And most importantly, we not only open these businesses, meaning just companies, but we also manage some of these clients. Therefore, we know what to do next with this business and how to properly register such a company today so that in the future it is comfortable and safe to conduct business in Poland. Second, 9 years of living and doing business in Poland. During this time, we have developed templates and checklists, ready-to-use materials, video instructions. And we provide all of this to you. And third, it's sustainability. This means that we tell the truth if we see any risks and nuances specifically in your business. If you are interested in working with us, you will find all the links below the video. How much money is needed to open a company in Poland? There are at least 3 price thresholds that you need to consider. The first, bezpłatnie, is free or very cheap. Essentially, this is either 350 zlotys, which is exactly how much the state fee for company registration costs. This is the method where you essentially register the company yourself. This also includes the method called Company in Poland for 1 zloty. Interesting, and it seems advantageous, but the structure is like this. You register the company with some partner, with a contractor. They sign a contract with you for accounting services for another 2 years, and if you don't like the accounting, and a lot depends on the accounting, then essentially you can't back out of this arrangement, or you'll have to pay them for all those future years of service. And this probably also includes all those who register companies in Poland for 300, 500 zlotys, for 800 zlotys. Later you will understand why, because there are many details and nuances. So the next range is from 500 euros to 1,000 euros. This is where the main market is, including us in this range. Well, there are, of course, many nuances here. Who to work with? Why does it cost 500 for some, and for others, let's say 1,000, essentially twice as much? For example, because the registration of a company in Poland does not end there. The fact that you simply received your tax number and some kind of statement. There are still many nuances and details that need to be worked through. Therefore, essentially, contractors in this range differ in what is included in their product, what besides registration they do not provide, such as templates, checklists, and video instructions in this video. We will go through internet banking for companies with you, hiring a person in Poland, and you will be able to issue invoices, that is, invoices in English for our Polish partners. Useful contacts, yes. What else do they provide you with besides the actual registration? By the way, everything I listed we provide in our registration, but I also want to add some things that are not obvious at first glance. Do they answer your calls after registration? Is all this registration done on your accounts? Do the electronic signatures belong to you? To you as the client and not to someone else, somewhere unclear? Do they explain to you in your language what documents you are signing and where they will be sent afterwards? And most importantly, do they solve the problems that may arise on your behalf? According to our statistics, 1 out of 10 companies encounters some issues in one way or another. Signatures were poorly recognized at the office. With Korbov, a mistake was made in some word, and so on. There can be many problems, and therefore it's important how this contractor will handle these problems. And the third range is 2, 3, 5,000 euros, depending on your parinosh structure, business strategy. These might be some complex schemes, mergers. You have a company in Cyprus which opens a company in Poland. You have many owners, you register a company through a notary and so on. How much money is needed for maintenance? We discussed how much is needed for opening, but few talk about the maintenance of the company. And you should have at least two components. These are a legal registered address in Poland. And this is a normal quality accounting service. A legal address is very important and much depends on it. Watch the video on this topic above. And there are two ways to have a legal address. Method number one is to rent a virtual legal address. Many of our clients use this method, and such an address costs on average 30 euros per month. The second way is to have a real office at the address of which you will register your company. The second expense for maintaining a company is quality professional accounting services. Prices start, I would say, from 100 to 150 euros per month. They depend on whether it is Polish or Russian-speaking accounting. It depends on who serves you, what approach and tasks they solve for you, and the number of documents they process per month. Of course, this is the base, and there are expenses that may be specific to your business. Maybe you need to lease a car, pay for certain services, have employees, rent additional storage or office space. Or maybe your business requires a certain license, for example, an alcohol license. This is very important, and we discuss all these things during a paid professional consultation. Below the video, you will find all the information. Thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and have a successful business in Poland.